Hello all, this is Jarin Jove with my podcast, Candid, in which I'll be making outspoken videos critiquing and forming arguments based on my own human bias. Over the past few months, I have been cogitating over what I wanted this channel to be. For the second podcast, I had initially planned on examining the deceitfulness of the media company PragerU, which is not an accredited university, but rather a conservative talk radio show, which gains massive funding by the evolution-denying extremist Christians, the Wilkes brothers. But honestly, I don't believe that it'll do any good, and I have no confidence whatsoever that making such a video would mean anything of value in the end. Honestly, I'd probably get a bunch of terrible comments from people who only listen to the first 2 minutes at best, and I would know the YouTube audience tracker gives me the full details of how long people spend listening and watching, and honestly no difference would have been made. And really, what audience would I be appealing to in what amounted to highlighting stupid nonsense that right-wing billionaires and right-wing YouTubers do? To put it bluntly, it's far easier, far more personally gratifying, and far more profitable to spew hate than it is to explain facts and evidence, or even use coherent, sensible logic. Not just because of the smug satisfaction of demoralizing and feeling vindicated, but because I don't feel that the methodology I was going to use would work. You'd probably get better, more educational content from other channels anyway, and have far better video imagery to view with that content. So there would be no point in me even trying. Moreover, I think I'd have far more fun just giving my views than worrying about correcting citations for each and every video. And really, it's a video or a podcast, so why even bother? The fact of the matter is, entertaining content is what gets viewers and listeners. This is obvious, of course, but in political debates I was hoping, using rational logic would work. It doesn't. Race realists, for example, are coming up all over the woodworks. They actually believe that specific ethnic backgrounds are predisposed to certain behaviors, and actually ridicule the idea that it's just cultural constructs, while at the same time vilifying the cultural constructs that they argue is the cause of ethnic minorities behaving in certain ways. So, you can't really expect logic from the right wing anyway, at this point. The internet, the mainstream media, and even contemporary religion has unambiguously and ubiquitously proven that hate will always be more powerful than reason, or caring for others, or even caring for the future. Hate always prevails. I am being completely serious. The state of affairs in the United States right now is all the proof that the world needs. Racism, sexism, transphobia, and random acts of violence prevailed. It prevailed against intelligent debate, people's constitutional rights, concern for human rights crimes, and the rights of the U.S. public against the predatory actions of the 1%. To put it bluntly, the top 1% won a long, long time ago, and people are still adjusting to the new reality, which has thoroughly trumped public activism for the rest of the United States. It's been over. It's not just a recent phenomenon. It's been over and done with, and there's no hope in pretending otherwise. there's no hope that anything will get better in the future. As of now, that's how I sincerely feel. Right-wing podcasters spend hours and hours claiming isolated events by young liberals who are learning in colleges and still adjusting to, college life and their own political beliefs, still nurturing them, still growing them, is proof. Their negative behavior in certain isolated events is proof to the right-wing podcasters that society is failing. And at the same time, a president that is supported by white supremacists and who treats Nazis, actual self-described Nazis, on equal grounds to people who want minorities to be treated equally, are given equal voices and equal footing. So people who explicitly want to kill minorities, such as Richard Spencer's desire for a peaceful ethnic cleansing, are given the same weight as people who are debunking race realism as uncredited by science and untenable by science. This current president, Donald Trump, continues to push for tax cuts for the rich, continues to push for the end of universal health care, which will affect the most vulnerable Trump supporters who need it the most, and who is pushing for the destruction of a bureau that was preventing predatory banks from what is essentially legalized grand theft of the public's retirement money. Trump is pushing for these policies, and his supporters continue to support him without really understanding what is going on, or even caring, really, at this point. It's very obvious that they don't care. I admit to being a naive, stupid SJW moron. I sincerely apologize to the Trump supporters for my attempts at bringing rationality and coherence to people who don't even seem to understand what their constitutional rights are, and for my arrogance and foolishness in presuming that it was in their best interests, but honestly it's not in their best interests, because they don't have any interests. Defending the rights of all people, including Trump supporters, was arrogant on my part because it is not possible for the aforementioned rights to be part of their self-interests. To put it mildly, if they don't perceive those issues as part of their interests or their welfare in the first place, then it cannot be called so, because they don't recognize it as such. So, that's all there is to it, really. Trump supporters will be free to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, as they wish. After their health care is gone, the education system is reduced, the U.S. infrastructure crumbles at a faster pace, with corporate taxes being reduced to 20%, 15% decrease overall, and after Wall Street takes all their retirement money away, since Trump is promising to destroy the regulatory protections. Trump supporters, you win. Feel proud. I was wrong. I was wrong about so much. I was such an arrogant SJW liberal. I don't know where to begin apologizing. So, from now on, I'm just not going to bother, because it's not worth it. You're not worth it. It's not worth my time. Dear viewers, thank you for listening to this podcast. If you would, please like, share, comment, and subscribe if you like my content. If you feel I deserve it, please consider supporting me through Patreon. And there's a link in the description box below regarding all of this. If you have any questions, tweet me at JoveJarin or email me at JoveJarin@hotmail.com. Thank you for listening.